everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Snapped Windsor podcast. Today we sit down with Steve, who is here to talk about the Grow On campaign with the Windsor Cancer Center Foundation. We have Maureen Lucas with 100 Women Who Care, Jeff Casey with 100 Men Who Give a Damn and their event coming up. And we finish off with Hayley and Fiona to talk about the Association of Fundraising Professionals and their National Philanthropy Day event coming up this month. Enjoy the episode. Hi, everybody. We are here with Steve Roberts, who is on the executive board committee with the Windsor Cancer Center Foundation and the Grow On campaign.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out today. And good to meet you. And
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a bit, how did you get involved with the Cancer Center Foundation with this campaign?
Well, originally a few years ago, the Windsor Cancer Center Foundation had a fundraising campaign called It's in Your Genes. Mm-hmm. And as a prostate cancer survivor, it was important to me to be involved in that campaign. And so I was, and helped raise money for the project. And we raised over $4 million at that time. And that was to purchase a Da Vinci machine, which is a machine that allows you to do robotic laparoscopic surgeries, primarily for prostate cancer and for other types of cancer, and as what other ailments that would be in that region, I guess. Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
And how long have you been a prostate cancer survivor?
In my case, 10 years ago, in February of 2007, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. It was after a period of about 2 years of being tested. Originally with prostate cancer, unfortunately for me, when I turned 50, my doctor suggested that I have a PSA test, and it's a prostate-specific antigen. That's what PSA stands for, and it's a pre-screening to determine whether or not you might have the possibility of having prostate cancer, and I did have it. I have the PSA. I had elevated levels that at that time were just of concern. It didn't show that I had cancer. I had a biopsy originally, and that biopsy showed that I was still okay. It was not a problem. I continued, but because of the fact that I had this higher levels of PSA, they continued to test me. So every few months I'd have to keep having PSAs, and they kept getting higher and higher and higher. And at that age, 50 is a young age actually to have prostate cancer. It affects 1 in 6 men in our society, but it's usually at an older age. Fortunately, it's also not a fast, usually acting cancer. It's one that takes a while to develop, so it's not sometimes as serious. But in my case, I kept having PSA tests. It kept getting higher.
Over what period of time?
It would have been over a period. No, this is over a period of about a year and a half. Yeah. So, and then finally I had a second biopsy because, the levels were still higher. And at the second biopsy is when they found the cancer. So, and it was serious enough at that point that surgery I had two options. I had to either have surgery or I could have radiation treatment. And it was a very, very difficult decision. And thankfully nowadays we have the internet. I had friends that were doctors that got me some research and information. And they're really, and what made the decision difficult is there really isn't a difference that much in terms of whether you have the radiation treatment. And locally we had, thankfully, from funds raised for the Windsor Cancer Center, we had brachytherapy, which is basically insert radiation pellets into your prostate to dissolve the prostate and to kill the cancer. The other alternative is what's called a radical prostatectomy. It's a surgery that's required. If I had that surgery in Windsor, it would have been done. They basically have to do it just, like you do any type of a normal surgery. But there was technology available and more advancements in the surgery where you could have it done laparoscopically, where it would be less invasive, less blood loss, faster recovery time. The side effects would still be the same potentially, but I didn't have the alternative of having that surgery here in Windsor. I had to be referred to McMaster Institute of Urology in Hamilton at St. Joseph's Hospital, where I ended up having to have my surgery.
Got it. So what was that moment like when you found out that you had prostate cancer?
Well, it's a moment that I would not wish on anyone. Yeah, really. It was very, very difficult. And like I say, just something that's news that you really don't ever want to hear. In my case, fortunately, I was very healthy. I had always taken care of myself. I had, at that point, I think ran 6 or 7 marathons. So I was in good shape, and that's why I opted for the surgery. Being a healthy, younger man, I had the ability to be able to recover from the surgery faster. And in my case, it was just, I thought, if I have cancer in my prostate, if you take my prostate out, that will hopefully solve the problem. So psychologically, it just made me feel better going through the surgery process.
And tell me about the treatment process. I know you're telling me about Hamilton.
Well, and again, I was fortunate in that I didn't need, what happens is if depending upon when they do the analysis of your prostate afterwards, the pathology, fortunately for me, it had not spread beyond my prostate, so I did not have to have any radiation treatment or anything. It's a serious surgery, so there were still follow-up visits that are required just to keep having testing to make sure that the cancer hasn't spread any further. So in my case, I had to continue to do that in Hamilton, for at least a year, and then actually carried on because it was 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and a year visits back to the surgeon that did the surgery. And then after that, I was able to just follow up visits every 6 months and then eventually a year. Fortunately, now I just, have my annual checkup at a doctor and I have a PSA test. And thankfully, for the last 10 years, it's been undetectable levels. And I've carried on and I've done 4 Tough Mudders and ran more half marathons and stayed healthy and played basketball every week. So life has gone on for me, thankfully, very much. So it's, and I like to give that message to people because a lot of people think that, cancer is a death sentence. Well, it doesn't have to be. Thankfully, because of the research that we've done and the progress that we've made in terms of treatment in dealing with, and certainly prostate cancer as well as other forms of cancer. Yeah.
Great, congratulations!
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, really. And so, tell me a bit. Now it's great to hear that you're involved with the Cancer Center Foundation. Yeah. And tell me about what the Cancer Center and the foundation does for people, and how that treatment has changed over the past 10 years, and what kind of access we have to technology and to treatment here in Windsor, so that people don't have to travel to Hamilton as much.
Yeah, the Cancer Center Foundation that I'm involved in, we raise the money that assists the Cancer Center. And the Cancer Center, and we do it in 3 ways. We raise money to assist them in purchasing equipment that they need to provide treatment for cancer patients. We provide them with funding for research, and we have a Seeds for Hope program, as well as other research that we fund here. We have a Windsor Cancer Research Group in Windsor, and it's amazing the research that we get done locally here. But through the funds that our foundation raise, we help finance that and help assist them in that research, which wouldn't get done otherwise. And then we also have a patient assistance program, because many people that are afflicted with cancer do not have the funds necessary, or as a result of the treatment they're going through, they're not able to work, so they're not able to pay their mortgage. So we provide financial assistance for them and for those patients. So those are sort of the 3 things that the foundation is funding.
Got it. And so tell me about Grow On.
So Grow On is our big campaign for the month of November, where, as you see, we stop shaving if you're a man, and we want to promote men to go on our website, to register, and to raise funds. And the funds that we raise is basically going towards cancer awareness, research, and treatment for men living in Windsor and Essex County. And the one thing good about this is all the funds stay in Windsor and Essex County. Everything that's going to be raised will go towards cancer awareness, research, and treatment here where we live, which is important for me because, as I say, in my case, I had to go out of the city at the time because we didn't have the machinery here in Windsor to do it, which we do now, again, thanks to the efforts of fundraising we've done in the past.
Great. And it is the 4th year of the campaign?
I believe it's the 4th year. The first year was just a start to get it off the ground, but 2 years ago we raised over $200,000, and last year we were just under $200,000. So we want to get back over the $200,000 mark.
Is that the goal this year?
Well, we don't. Yeah, I think if we had a goal, I guess it would be $200,000. And we really want to encourage everyone to get involved, and we're going to have a number of events that will be. We've got a lot of people in the community involved. That there's challenges going on. So we have realtors challenging each others and mortgage brokers challenging each others. We've had contractors in the past that challenge, and that's what we like to get is some sort of an excitement out there amongst the men and women in our community to help promote this cause and hopefully raise lots of money in November.
And tell me about the Row On for Grow On event and what that.
So Row On for Grow On is new this year, and it's thankfully a local gym, it's CrossFit, that got involved with us, and through our executive director and her involvement with them, they're going to have it's a 24 hours where people are going to be rowing for Grow On for 24 hours straight on, I think it's Saturday, November 25th. And obviously they're going to get pledges to support them in their endeavors. So hopefully we're really hopeful that they're going to raise a lot of money through this. And it's just one of those things to help promote the cause and get more interest in it as well.
Great. Yeah. And where can people go to learn more?
They can go to the website, www.growonwindsor.com. And we encourage people to just go on. It's very easy. You can go on the website and they'll give you the option to register. And then once you've registered, then what I do is I just send emails out to all my friends and clients and family and just promote it as often as I can. And they can all they have to do is then go on the site and hit donate, and you put in the name of the person you want to donate to. And it's very easy, thankfully, to the modern technology we have with the computer. So,
Great.
And you can also obviously just write a check as well. But, yeah.
Well, thank you. Is there anything else you'd want to add?
Like I say, just want to encourage everyone to get involved with in the month of November with Grow On, and hopefully we reach our goal. And it's important because this is an important cause for men living in our area, and we want to be able to raise as much money as possible. So,
okay, thanks for coming in today.
Oh, great.
This is Steve Roberts, a prostate cancer survivor, a local lawyer at McTagg, and here to represent the Windsor Cancer Center Foundation. The Grow On campaign, Grow On for Grow On. November 25th.
All right.
And the website again?
growonwindsor.com.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. I am here today with Maureen Lucas, Jeff Casey, the founders of the local chapters of 100 Women Who Care and 100 Men Who Give a Damn. Thanks for coming in today. Tell me about this movement and what 100 People Who Care is.
Well, it started originally in the U.S., so great movement over there, and Toronto picked it up, 100 Women Who Care. The second chapter in Canada was in London, and we heard about it through the London chapter. Somebody said, hey, you guys should start a chapter in Windsor. That was in 2012. And the concept was so simple, we thought, well, why not? Not a lot of work, an opportunity to put some great amounts of money into some local charities, so why not? So our first meeting for 100 Women Who Care was February 2013.
Mm-hmm. Congrats.
Yeah, and we had 70 people show up. So our first charity received $7,000.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and then I went to some of the meetings through Snaps, covered them, and loved the idea, and thought, you know what, let's get the men doing the same thing. So we started 100 Men Who Give a Damn, and that was about 3 years ago now. And our first meeting went very well. I was able to kind of piggyback all of their success, and I think we got out 98 men, and then I think somebody topped it off, and so we were able to give $10,000 to the Windsor Residents for Young Men.
Then, of course, it became very competitive.
Oh,
they got 98 men, so we had to beat that at the next meeting, and it's been a very fun and friendly competition, and the community wins.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're both to be civil today. So tell me about the model. How does the fundraising model work?
So basically, what happens is what people love about it is the efficiency of time and the fact that the money goes directly to the charity. So people show up at the meeting, women and men, they walk in the door, we greet them, they sit down. They've nominated the charities that are close to their heart. So these are not professional, the charities coming in professionally and pitching to the group. They are nominated by the women and men, and they speak about the charity. So, and at the end of the meeting, we've drawn 3 charities. The people in the room put their ballot in for the charity they would like to get the money, and everybody writes their $100 check to that charity. 1 hour and $10,000 is in the charity's pocket. So it's amazing.
And it's monthly? Or
it's quarterly, actually.
Quarterly,
we do 4 a year. Actually, the way we've actually turned it into now, we do 3 meetings a year, and then we do a combined meeting, typically in November, which happens to be in a couple weeks. So we're doing our third annual 100 People Who Care. So we're combining our groups to one meeting. We're doing it on November 14th this year at the Water's Edge. And we'll likely get somewhere between 200, 250 people. And we're looking for companies who care as well. So we did that last year. We're able to get a good number of them where they donate actually. They commit to $1,000. So we'll get everyone in the room to do their check for 100. Now we encourage our members to bring their spouses, their friends, to kind of come and check out the meeting, see how it goes. And then hopefully, they love it enough that they want to start attending the regular meetings. And it's been a huge success for last year was amazing. We ended up donating, it was right around $30,000 to the dandelion root research project at University of Windsor. That was really cool. We even did the follow-up. We've gone to their sessions at the university and their presentations, and just to see the work that they're doing and directly to see where the money is going from other people and report back onto it.
And I think that's the byproduct of these groups, is that everybody sitting in the room, probably 90% of them haven't even heard of these charities.
Yes.
So it's the exposure to the charities and what they're doing and the good they're doing. And for everybody sitting there, it's like a bit of an aha. Wow, I didn't even know this group existed. I didn't know they were doing this dandelion root project. So it's it makes you feel really good because you're learning something about what's happening in our community and these local charities as well.
And from a third source, right? It's not learning about it from the charity per se. It's about somebody in the community who's passionate about it. So they bring their take on it, which tends to have a lot more heart to it.
Yeah. Right? We've had a few meetings where there's some tears flowing. People are so emotionally connected. When they're nominating a charity, it's usually because somebody they know or love has been suffered through, from whatever it is that they're talking about. So as they're talking, the emotion wells up and they get teary and the people in the room get teary. And it's like, oh my goodness, are you kidding? Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you have any specific examples of those happening?
A couple of them. Our last charity was Crohn's and Colitis Canada. And the two people that represent, that spoke about that charity are a mother and daughter, and their sister suffers from it. And as they talked about the things they've been through the years, it was just everybody in the room, first of all, really didn't know that much about Crohn's and colitis, but about how the family suffers from it. So it was an amazing meeting.
And actually, I remember from 2 meetings 2 years ago for the joint meeting, Jim Fair.
Oh my goodness!
Presented on the Grow On campaign and him being a prostate survivor and talking about everything that he had to kind of go through, but then his really awesome, we'll call it a hook at the end of his talk was about being able to. Being able to continue on having tea with his granddaughter. And you could just see the whole room. It was
that's it.
Wow.
They're going to win.
That was amazing.
So would you say that's the secret to, I guess it's a secret to anything. They believe in it, so they win people over. It's real. It's the commitment, the passion for the cause, and however that comes out.
There's a lot of great charities that don't have a tear jerker side to them. And some of them have, in fact, won. But I think a lot of times people in the room, when you're moved, you're moved to write your check to the charity.
Yeah, absolutely. There have been a couple of unique ones with us with Camp Brumball, which is, something through the Windsor Police. That's just a great program. Adopt a Vet was another one. We're adopting a war veteran, to help work. And that was a pretty cool one as well. So you get exposure to these things, just like Maureen was saying.
Well, the one that we were talking about earlier was the Sexual Assault Domestic Violence Treatment Center. So who even knew that was a small group housed within one of the hospitals? And really what they do is deal with the kids that have been through that. And they have, what the money was going to be used for was buying teddy bears and comfort things. So when these kids come in, that they have these comfort items. So there's so many good stories from our meetings that really they just kind of go on and on. And I think that ultimately is the reason why people keep coming back and people keep joining. People visit the meetings and they sign up because it's, you feel like you're really making a difference and you're hearing the real stories. Yeah.
And that's the other great thing is actually we invite the winning charity back to the next meeting and they talk to us for like 5 or 6 minutes on like more specific information on where the money will go. And then we do a little check presentation. So then there's a little even stronger connection with that charity.
Right. So I can see why it works so well.
Yeah.
So for people who are curious or want to know more or get involved, how can people do that?
So if they go to 100 Women Who Care or 100 Minute Give a Damn, just type that into your search engine and all the information will come up.
Right.
It's very well laid out on the website and you can get all the information you need, or they can reach out to myself, Jeff, or Liz Ferrano. She's one of the co-founders of 100 Women Who Care as well. And we're happy to talk about it. We've invited people. We said, don't worry about, becoming a member. Come out to the meeting, sit and just be a part of it. And that's really all it takes. If you come to a meeting, you do want to come back. So I think what we'd really like to say is come on out November 14th. Do a walk-in to the water's edge, beautiful facility. We always have a couple of munchies and beverages set up to make it kind of more social for half an hour or so. And then 1 hour, come for 1 hour and see what a difference that you can make in the community. It's really, that's, I think, what I'd like people to know.
Great. Anything else you want to add?
I concur.
Okay, good. Glad to hear. Well, thank you. This has been Maureen Lucas, Jeff Casey with 100 Men Who Give a Damn, 100 Women Who Care. They are both people who care and part of a larger movement that's spreading across Canada now. Please come check out the so the one on the 14th is combined.
Yes.
So it's an exciting one. November 14th at the Water's Edge. And thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm sitting here with Fiona Coughlin with Habitat for Humanity and Hayley Morgan with Big Brothers Big Sisters. But they're both here today to talk about the National Philanthropy Day Award. And thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I'm curious to start. There's how long have you each been in the nonprofit sector and fundraising professionally?
I've been working in nonprofit for about 20 years. Okay. I actually started straight out of college. I had a child when I was very young, and a lot of people helped me get through college and get my education, and that has had a huge impact on my life. And as soon as I finished college, I had a business degree and decided I'm going to commit myself to working to make sure that other young women can succeed the way that I am hoping to. And I've worked hard for the past 20 years to do that for other young women who need help. So that's what brought me to Habitat for Humanity. And that's it was a long journey from here to there, but it's amazing work, and we're changing the world every day.
Yeah. And how about yourself?
Not as inspiring. No, I've been in the industry for about 15 years. Out of university, kind of just fell into a not-for-profit role where I was able to kind of utilize some skills that weren't really necessarily for that role, but were enabling me to really grow as a professional. So I've just kind of stayed in the industry. I really do love working for not-for-profits and making a difference in the community. Like Fiona said, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been amazing for me. My children have actually been involved in the program, so it's nice to see firsthand the impact that those programs have on them as well.
Great. And tell me about the Fundraising Association and how you're also a part of that.
Well, the Association of Fundraising Professionals is a group of people who are working in nonprofits where more than 50% of their role is related to fundraising. And we come together and support each other. And even though it can be sometimes a slightly competitive industry, because we're all trying to raise money from a limited pool of donors who also want to change the world. And we're trying to work together to do that the most effective way possible. And so when you're working with someone who's a member of the Association of Fundraising Professional, if you're a donor, you know that they've subscribed to a code of ethics, that they're working together, they're working collaboratively, they're committed to treating your donation with respect, to keep your information confidential, to make sure that your gift goes exactly where it's meant to go. And so we work together to make sure that we're all subscribing to those values. And then we also share in key learning and education opportunities. And one of the ways that we also share is by doing a National Philanthropy Day event to thank our donors together. And together we have more resources so we can put on an event to thank those people who are helping us change the world.
And were you talking earlier about an example that you had of work? There's one thing that you were saying.
Oh, well, just in the line of collaboration, I reached out to Hayley recently. I was working with a homeless family in a role at the Downtown Mission, and there was a single mom with a disabled child, and we were able to, I was able to reach out to Hayley. She was able to connect me with a contact that she had, so we could fly that family home to Saskatchewan. And that would never have happened if I didn't know that Hayley had that resource and was able to work with me to help that family. So you put aside the competition and all of that sort of thing, and you say, look, we're working together to help someone. And this this mother is stranded at the downtown Mission with her disabled daughter. How are we going to get her home? And forget the name of the organization on your business card. Let's work together and get them home.
Right. That's good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here for sharing information and helping each other too.
And you're also both working together on a specific event, right? Which is what really brings you here today to speak about. So could you tell me about what this event is in November?
So the National Philanthropy Day Awards is on November 16th. And that is an event where we honor individuals and businesses and groups in our community who truly are the core of giving to this community and who help us, make our jobs a little bit easier by being philanthropic and having those caring hearts that we need in this community. So, we put out a call for nominations and people are able to nominate businesses or individuals or groups. We have a nominating review committee who reviews all of the nominations and chooses the winners from there. And then on the 16th, we officially present them with their awards.
Great. So tell me about, you have a couple that you wanted to tell me about.
Well, I think it's really important to kind of showcase the wide range of donors and, the people and groups who give back into the community. So, one example, one of the winners is Caesars Windsor, who, as Fiona, we were talking about earlier, they've pretty much touched every single organization in this community, and not just through their corporate giving, but also through their Heroes program that they have, which is kind of unique. I know there's a lot of different organizations who do allow their staff to volunteer in the community and who do really promote that. Caesars has a program called the Heroes program. So they actively want their staff to go out in the community and be involved in events through volunteering. And they actually give them incentives to kind of do that for a certain amount of hours that they do, which is really, I think, a unique program that they offer. So not only are they showing their staff that they care as a corporation, but they want their staff to care as individuals in the community. And obviously they've donated millions of dollars, I'm sure, over the years that they've been in this community, which is very helpful for us as well as fundraisers. But having those people who volunteer at events and coming to your office to maybe paint your office if you're not-for-profit who can't afford that, coming to maybe plant some flowers. There's such a wide range of things that people can do that truly make a difference. And I think Caesars Windsor has really grown to really showcase that and really support the community in those ways. And then we have a Youth in Philanthropy Award. There's 6 youth who started a lemonade stand with funds going to We Care for Kids. And it just started as a little event that they did. It raised a couple $100, and over the years it grew and it grew and it grew. They've now raised, I think, $16,000. But they've also encouraged other youth to start these, they call it, I think, the Lemonade Brigade. They've started with We Care for Kids to encourage other youth to also do these lemonade stands. They have like a little kit that they give them so that they can go on. And that's, I think, a lot of what, philanthropy and giving back is about, is encouraging others to also follow suit and give back. So here are these youth who I think range from 11 to, I'm not even sure, maybe 13 or 14, who already have this philanthropic, gene in them to give back, but are encouraging others to do so. And, others are going to do this lemonade stand, but other kids are also going to look at that and say, oh, wait, I want to give socks to the homeless and start their own little fundraiser. And it encourages adults as well, because we know we get really busy and a lot of times we get stuck in our little bubble of corporate life. And sometimes we need to sit back and think, like, there's something that I can do. I could take an hour out of my day to go and mentor a child through Big Brothers Big Sisters, or I could, donate some items to Habitat for Humanity. There's always something that you can do. And I think that you have to pick an organization that means something to you.
That was going to be my next question, is if someone is watching and they want to get involved and they haven't maybe before and they're not sure how, what are the things that they should be thinking about?
Sorry, I don't want to keep going, but I think what I always say, yes, we all have our organizations that we work for, but if you don't have something that you truly have a passion for and care about, or something that's been a part of your life, it's much more difficult to just be like, okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I want this charity, and you just give. But when it's something that means something to you, you put so much more into it, and you talk to your friends about it and your family about it, and you get really involved in it a lot more. And then you're able to influence others around you to do the same.
I think look at what speaks to your heart, what you relate to, maybe your personal experiences. But the other thing that I do think is important as well is that our donors are getting more and more sophisticated. So they are doing research on the causes. So these donors that we're recognizing at the MPD event, there's a whole spectrum of types of people that have given, but they're serious philanthropists and they're out there to try and change the world. And they're looking at the causes and they're saying, okay, which cause is having a significant impact? So I would say to someone looking to give, start with what's speaking to your heart, and then look at the organization and look at what kind of impact they're having. You don't have to just focus on small organizations or big organizations. Look at everything. The big organizations might have huge impact, but the small startups might have a really innovative idea. Some donors look at the financial sheet and stop there, and sophisticated donors definitely do a lot of research to look at the impact. What are the outcomes of the organization you're supporting? Are you seeing their work in action? Are you seeing tangible results? And that's what I would say. And then, of course, I have to put a plug in for AFP. You want to work with an organization where the fundraising professionals are working, are subscribed to some sort of code of ethics. And are committed to working responsibly with your gifts.
And this event on the 16th is open to the public?
Absolutely.
As well, yeah. So where can people go to find more?
Oh, they can go to Snapped Windsor to actually purchase their tickets online and learn more there. They can go to the AFP Canada South website, and all of the winners are listed there, along with the different awards that are going to be presented, and more information about the event. There's a breakfast included. It's only $55 a person.
Great. Anything else you want to add here?
I think that's it. Follow us on Facebook too. We post a lot of workshops that we have going on as well, which our members get for free this year. But if you're a non-member, you're also welcome to join. So there can be some great informative workshops coming.
Okay. Well, thank you both for sitting down today.
You.
This has been Fiona Coughlin with Habitat for Humanity, Hayley Morgan with Big Brothers Big Sisters, both here to talk about the event on November 16th. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out another episode of the Snap Windsor podcast on WePodcast.ca, and check us out on Facebook and all social media, both WePodcast and Snapped Windsor. And we'll see you next time.